When will we three meet again, in thunder, lightning and in rain? When the hurdy-gurdy's done, when the battle's lost or won? We're going to talk about witchcraft today. They were the witches out of Macbeth, who were very devious girls who were trying to destroy a kingdom, and they did. That's the image that witchcraft has of evil and darkness, all these sorts of things. This is Dude, by the way. So it has that image of evil and darkness and black cats. It goes back a long way. Before Christianity, God was a woman. I would encourage you to Google Mediterranean pre-Christian goddess religions. God was seen as a woman. Now, when these religions were overwhelmed, the sacred images of their religion, which were often snakes and trees and women, were incorporated into the Bible, into Genesis, as Eve in the Garden of Eden, and women who make a mess of everything and hurt men's lives. Now, traditionally, witchcraft has been the priority of the poor, the oppressed, the weak, which through much of history has been women. Now, I was quite heavily involved in witchcraft back in the 80s when I was young and pretty. Now, I live in Queensland in Australia. Now, Queensland is sort of nice now, politically. At that time in the 80s, it was like Alabama. It was fundamentalist, it was oppressive, and the laws were not so good. I was nearly charged under the 1931 Witchcraft Act. I really wanted to be, because I thought it looked so good and I could tell people about it. And the law wasn't repealed until the mid-90s. So I was in Brisbane, and also I had an unusual lifestyle, and I was happy with it. I was in polyamorous relationship. We had our children, we had our shops called the Three Witches, and our life was quite good. But of course, once you become public, especially with something unusual, you're in trouble. And we became targeted by fundamentalist Christians, and they basically destroyed everything we had. And that's okay now. It's all long in the past, but it came at great cost. Now, like I said, I was involved with different witchy things or whatever. Wicca, for example, Wicca is a religion, but it's not very old. It's the 1950s it was made. It's an amalgam of different belief systems and a prettied up version of witchcraft, and it's all very well, and it seems to have real value to people. I personally don't like the idea of witchcraft as a religion. I think once you have a religion and dogma, then you cut yourself off from a whole lot of experience, a whole lot of things that might be of value to you. Once we nail down things, that's the end of our growth. But my experience of witchcraft is, I can see why it's predominantly been associated with women. With my coven, etc., men wanted to get involved mainly for sex and power. The sex part, this is men, especially young men. Women more for the deeper things. And it made me realise why God was a woman, and probably still is in many, many ways. I would encourage you to have a look at these things. There's also the association with fortune telling, very old things. I'm from the gypsy culture, and the word gypsy, that's not even encouraged anymore. It's seen as pejorative, and it's a way of putting people down. To us, it was not. Things have been changed, and our world is once again descending into fundamentalism. But I would encourage you all on your spiritual, your psychic path to explore and be open to things. Witchy things, anything that appeals to you, because basically witchcraft, shamanism is our connection with the world, with nature, with animals, with spirits, with all things. We're a part of it. And look at us. I was reading the other day that in the past 200,000 years, approximately 110 billion human beings have existed. I think it's about 7 now. And they're us. Genetically, we're almost identical. We share the same experiences. We have headaches. We go to the loo. We have our fears and hopes. And yet, look at the way we pick on each other, and we separate people from ourselves. It's awful, and it's tremendously sad. So I'd encourage you to be brave, and you women especially, to find that inner goddess and let her express herself, because there's such power in the depth of human beings. Don't let them oppress you. Be brave. I've got to go now. Talk next time.